What's up guys, Bionic here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're talking about Astranyx again. I'm on floor 80. I've been trying to optimize my teams for this to work on auto and for this to go faster. So I have tried a couple different teams. So I have one that's relatively accessible. It's my fastest one so far. And the reason I'm using this right now is because it works as is. Instead of once again regearing or tuning for floor 80, I'd rather wait until floor 120 and properly tune there. But instead, what I've come up with is a 100% free-to-play version that will work on auto for floor 80 so far, and I'll go over what you need to get this done so that hopefully you guys have a working model to be able to finally beat this boss on auto yourselves. So all that said, let's get right to it. So here's my first auto team that does work for floor 120, 80, and 40. It's just a lower success rate on floor 40 and 80 simply because I'm a little bit too strong, then the skills don't line up perfectly. And I also thought, you know, for those of you guys that don't have two allures or even one allure for Rockin' the Fat, maybe even Deacon, it's going to be a little bit harder to achieve this. So then I thought, let's try to not work with any dupe champions and perhaps bring in some fusion champions or other fusion champions. So I decided to drop Krilla and instead put in a Yorndig. I dropped the second allure, put in a Royal Guard instead, right? So of course this can work. It will speed up the run. Royal Guard is great because we have turn meter control but also decreased speed, and then Yorndig here does have some turn meter control. I simply swapped his banner. He's still really slow on my account because of how I use him as a nightmare campaign farmer. So I thought, you know, is there an easy swap of the gear that I can do to get this to work on floor 80 and to have a higher success rate than my current team that doesn't work too well on floor 80. Okay, so this got me a pretty reasonable time. We're gonna fast forward here to the end, and you'll see that overall it's probably a better option for me even right now, simply because they almost all work as is. Even Rockin' the Fat with his relatively lower accuracy works for floor 80 on hard. Whereas on floor 120, I would need a lot more accuracy for this to be even better. Okay, I got a slightly better time, as you can see right here. So 79 turns is the best one. But then it got me thinking, you know, what else can we replace here that's not accessible, and can we reach a full 100% free-to-play team? All right, so I came up with this team right here, which gave me an even faster time. Also kind of like unmodified champions, except for Yorndig with that accuracy banner, which I'll show you guys in a second. So Krilla, Yorndig, Ninja, now we're already talking about really accessible champions in a sense, and then we have Allure and Deacon. So then I thought, you know, there's just these two to replace to have a 100% free-to-play team. Can we get it to work, and can we get it to work on auto? That was the big question. So let's check out that team and that run. So what we did here is we replaced Deacon Armstrong with Haikatoon, and then we replaced the Allure with Vizix. We kept the Yorndig, we kept the Krilla, and we kept the Ninja. So we have great AoEs, great clearing potential for these waves, and we also have a couple different options to deal with the waves against the boss. We also brought in increased speed from Haikatoon, which is great, and then we have decreased speed from Haikatoon, but also from Vizix. Therefore, we can afford to have slightly lower speed champions, and I think that's a great thing, is that, again, these champions are relatively unchanged on my account. I didn't really need to optimize this. Of course, it's a low success rate right now. I would need to properly optimize if I were to use this team to farm, but at least it gives you guys a model to start working on if you want to attempt something similar. Okay, so the big goal here is to once again nuke the entire wave, the enemy wave, or either AoE freeze them with Ninja, or maybe you want to do the AoE provoke, let's say from Vizix, or the AoE nuke from Krilla or Yorndig. Basically, you have a couple different options to walk in there and control the enemy wave before you get into the solo phase with the boss. I will point something else out. I left the ally protection buff from Vizix, which is somewhat of a problem. She's going to end up taking too much damage, and the boss is also going to steal the ally protection at some point, and then we're literally going to kill our Vizix. Don't do that. Okay, so I didn't properly tweak the AI preset. I kind of just played around with a few different skills to offset them, so that when I would get to the boss, it would kind of line up where Haikatoon would do her turn meter boost, increase speed, and then I would have some kind of AoE freeze or nuke from the other champions, right? So it might not be Ninja the best for him to go first. Maybe you want to make it so that Yorndig goes right before, or right after Haikatoon, so then you get the AoE decreased defense, and then you can nuke a little bit easier with your other champions. So again, a lot of optimization needed for this to work. I do lose some champions in this run, but again, it ends up working, so I don't care about this all that much. So for sure, floor 120 would be a lot harder, okay, is what I'm saying, but at least it's a 100% free-to-play team, so fusion champions, login champions, and a free champion, which proves that, you know, you can get by once again with those types of champions. All right, so right here we also get back around to losing one of our champions, but we do manage to kill him really fast with our ninja. Then we're going to take one more hit, I think, from the boss. Luckily, that's all we can afford because we're just about dead, and then we're going to finish it off with one hit right there. So that's it. 81 turns is also pretty decent considering my best one is 76. All right, now let's quickly go over the gear of these champions, starting with Vizix in a relentless set with the following stats. We have all the skills done on this champion, and then here are the masteries. Up next, let's do our ninja. Masteries, all the skills are also done on this champion, and then we have a relentless set as well with the following total stats. After that, we played around with Yorndig, again kind of unchanged except for this banner, which I typically have this one right here to farm the Nightmare campaign. All right, so I'm a slow tune Nightmare campaign farmer where I pretty much one-shot the waves, whereas here I need to be a little bit faster, but again with increased speed, decreased speed, I can afford to be slower, but I need more accuracy. Okay, so that's why I swapped the banner to do this. All the skills are also done on that guy, and then for the masteries we have Helm Smasher for the tier 6, but Whirlwind of Death is important. Spirit Haste does not come into play for that run. Okay, then we're going to do our Krila Witch Arm, unchanged reflex for the clan boss with the following stats. All of her skills are also done. Masteries, War Master, Evil Eye, pretty important here. Then let's keep going with the other ones. We're going to do the allures real quick. I know I showed them before, but why not? Here's the first one, the fastest one, and she's also the one that I use against the Fire Knight 25 speed runs. All her skills are done. Artifacts, we have immunity because I need an extra buff for my seer to eat. All right, so here are her total stats. The second one, a little bit slower in lifesteal, mainly just for the crypt. Enough accuracy. The skills are not done on this one. Then for the masteries, we have Giant Slayer for the tier 6 again. Royal Guard, the one that I played around with. The fast one for my Fire Knight 25 team in Savage gear with the following stats. Too low on accuracy for this to work. Even floor 80 is kind of pushing it a little bit. Floor 120 would not be enough. All the skills are done on this guy. And then for the masteries, we have War Master for the tier 6. Then let's go down to our High Katoon, which is kind of clutch for this free-to-play team. So full speed ahead. Following stats, 270. Make sure you have enough accuracy to land the debuff, and then that's it. All the skills are done on this champion. For the masteries, I did put in War Master and Evil Eye, and then we have our Deacon, which is also somewhat unchanged, except maybe for the chest piece. I did play around with the chest piece to see if I could squeeze out a little bit more damage from him to kind of offset how the skills are going to land, you know? So 290, 360 accuracy in immunity gear. All the skills are done on this guy, and then we have for the masteries, Eagle Eye for the tier 6. And finally, we have our Farrakin the Fat, which I skipped. Also, same gear for the clan boss team. So reflex again with the following stats. He has a relatively high amount of accuracy, which is good for floor 80, but not enough for floor 120. All the skills are also done on this champion. And then here are the masteries. Also War Master and Evil Eye. Cycle of Magic, kind of like Krila here, is really good. So there you have it, guys. The champions that I used so far for Astranyx on full auto with this free-to-play team. Hopefully this gives you a good working model. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.